Who else remembers the popular Amala ghost seller story in Lagos? It is a story that once trended and until today remains a mystery in the minds of those who ate from the restaurant. It was a story of a family that consisted of a woman and 3 children who jointly ran a restaurant in Ipaja Ayobo area of Lagos State. It was said that the family had moved into the area in 2021 and majorly sold Amala, a popular delicacy which is made from yam flour, often enjoyed with Yoruba soup known as Ewedu or Gbegiri. The shocking story was that they disappeared to God knows where after people discovered they had died some time ago in a ghastly motor accident, and when they were confronted, she and her children vanished. Though there were so many versions of the story, however, no one until this day was able to state that he or she saw them vanish, which makes the story tricky. Although a neighbor who was close to the family and had even eaten on some occasion in the restaurant told his own version of the story, which seemed to be the only first-hand details we have on the Amala ghost seller story, and he eventually would give a better insight of the story. Some of these ghost stories were unbelievable until the internet era. It's a good thing that many people are very much aware of the happenings around them courtesy of the internet. Although this particular story is quite different from the previous one I posted about a young lady who got married to a man she never knew had previously died. However, one common occurrence in situations like this is that they usually vanish whenever somebody they know sees them or after an encounter with a familiar person. Another thing is that they usually reincarnate far away from relatives and friends. It turned out that the neighbor who spoke about the supposed ghost family gave a clear insight as to what happened. Although the neighbor noted that he doesn't believe that they were ghosts, but there was something about the family that didn't sit right, which is why he understood the reason why many people thought they were ghosts. As earlier stated, the family consisted of an elderly woman who was obviously their mother, a boy and 2 girls, making it a family of 4. It wasn't also stated if they were blood related, however they coexisted together until the day they were thought to have disappeared mysteriously. Prior to moving into the compound, they seemed very friendly and accommodating, but they started changing few months after moving in. They were reserved and didn't associate with people freely. They also stopped greeting people and went as far as asking people not to greet them. This became a very serious issue to neighbors and customers alike, as it is very usual for Lagosians and Africans at large to greet themselves before doing anything. It is also regarded as a sign of respect and courtesy. There was this particular customer who greeted them and they didn't respond. He got very furious and confronted the woman and her children. He was said to have informed her that he can't be eating in her restaurant if she doesn't respond to his greetings, which ended up with the customer not being served. That was not all. The neighbor also noted that this family did not have another apartment aside the shop they rented, which was a small space, and whenever there was an excessive heat, neighbors would usually come out of their houses in order to take fresh air. But this particular family of 4 will comfortably sleep in that hot space with the door locked and no windows, no fan, as though it was an air-conditioned room. So how were they able to get oxygen? Another mysterious thing was that the dogs in the compound were always barking at the woman and her apprentice each time they encountered them, which of course is a spiritual signal in some African societies, as dogs are said to have 4 eyes. Pay attention to this. Over a period of time, dogs usually get acquainted with those around them. However, over the period this woman and her children occupied the compound, the dogs were never friendly. It was a regular occurrence, which of course gave rise to suspicion. Also, it was noted that they spoke an unusual language whenever they didn't want anyone to understand them, though they spoke Yoruba frequently, and they ran their business up until December 31st, 2023, when the unthinkable happened. According to the neighbor, him and his wife had returned from the crossover night, and as usual, the family was still running their business with their generator until 2 a.m. in the morning. At about 9 a.m., he got a call that the Amala woman and her apprentice had suddenly moved out without anyone noticing them. It was a strange occurrence as no one saw them moving their things, neither did anyone see them leave. This was what created the impression that they were ghosts, even though no one saw them disappear in person. It was very surprising that people saw her and her family up until 2 a.m. and by daybreak, she and her apprentice were nowhere to be found. This of course fuels the speculation that they were actually ghosts, but it could also have been possible that she had moved very early before dawn. But of course, in a city like Lagos where people hardly sleep, there's no way somebody wouldn't have seen them packing or leaving, considering the fact that none of their belongings, not even a pin, was left behind. This was the exact story of the popular Amala ghost seller in Lagos, and up until now, no one has been able to confirm if they saw them disappear or maybe someone who knew them saw them and they disappeared. However, this was the version of the neighbor who knew them, and he had only narrated the story to the extent he knew. It would have been great if other eyewitnesses, including customers who bought food from her as early as 2 a.m. to state their own part of the story. It remains a mystery as to where the said family comes from or where they had relocated to. Perhaps their rent was due or they had just wanted to change their location, but to the best of my knowledge, this is what we know of the Amala ghost seller story. So guys, do you think these people were actually ghosts, or it was a mere coincidence that they had wanted to move out without anybody noticing? Do you think it could have been possible that they had wanted to move out because their rents were due, or they just wanted to change location? Do you also believe that people die and reincarnate elsewhere in order to continue their lives? Kindly do well to drop your honest comments in the comment section. Give us your opinion about what you think about the existence of ghosts, and don't forget to subscribe and share this video. Thank you.